My name is Kwesia, founder of City Girl in Nature. I grew up in southeast London, a place called Deptford, close to an estate called Pepys Estate, and I'm of mixed heritage background. I'm half Jamaican and half Pakistani. So City Girl in Nature came about after me having a life-changing expedition experience, or maybe you could say a change in trajectory in my life, which happened back in 2018. I went to the Peruvian Amazon on expedition, which it was really life-changing, and I wanted to, I guess, give that back to other people like myself, because I only started City Girl in Nature in 2020. I had to settle into the experience I had. I knew something changed, but I didn't know what exactly that change was. I was doing some work in a youth club called Keys House in Clapham Junction. The work there I was doing was with a project called Black Minds Matter, which essentially works with mental health and young people. So I was doing some work there at the time. I was 19, so I was working with my peers essentially, but I guess some of my life experiences I had made me be able to work with young people in a different way, because I experienced quite a few traumatic years building up to that point. So a guy called Matt essentially came into that youth club, and he was presenting this opportunity, 3-week expedition to 3 different locations, which, thinking now, some great locations. So the Canadian Yukon, Indian Himalayas, or Peruvian Amazon. But I was not outdoorsy at all. I was drawn to the Amazon because I'm of mixed heritage background, Pakistani and Jamaican, so seeing that tropical rainforest spoke to me more than the other 2. Altitude sickness didn't speak to me, and nor did somewhere that seemed cold with bears. Then some of the experiences I had faced, I guess, felt a sense of resilience and took that step to try. So I went on a weekender with the British Exploring Society, so that's how I got there essentially. Those real life experiences every day in that environment, no phone by the way, with a bunch of strangers from all over the UK. Although they seemed at the beginning to be way different to me, we all had something in common. That's what I came to realize, that wow, in the actual real world, all of us are alike in so many more ways than we're different. That's, I guess, why slowly but surely when I returned, started to adapt to my city life and my everyday life. And that's when I kind of realized how nourishing and nurturing the natural world was, because a lot of the stuff that I believed in before is kind of like I burst my own bubble, and I was now able to see past these stereotypes, biases, and again, like thinking privilege, people that had privilege. I used to think people that had privilege know more than me. Not true at all. In fact, in many ways, I knew a lot of, I guess, basic skills that they didn't even know either. And I think that really opened my eyes to see that privilege doesn't actually mean anything. I guess it's just something that we all make a thing when we're all privileged in some sort of way, whether that's family, health, these are all privileges too. So yeah, I guess that's kind of like my transition and changing my perspective on being not naturey or outdoorsy to now being a bit of a yogi and into anything that's kind of outdoorsy, mindfulness and stuff like that. So I guess some of the experiences that I faced growing up was, I was a young carer for my grandmother who had Parkinson's disease and Alzheimer's, which she passed away. And 2 years after that, I experienced my uncle murdering my auntie on what is called an honor killing. And 2 years after that, my friend was murdered by knife crime. So quite a lot of traumatic events in a short space of time for someone to experience at the age of below 17. And then I was homeless shortly after that. So quite a lot crammed into that space. And I guess my friend being murdered through knife crime is what triggered me to have mental health challenges, obviously struggling with my mental well-being and just trying to like understand life and these experiences I had faced. So that was all, I guess, let's say up until 2015, 2016 was homeless. And so 2 years after that is when this amazing kind of opportunity fell from the sky, if you want to say. I'm using my experiences and myself as an example to others. I've always felt like I wanted to help people in some sort of way. I've always had that element to me naturally. And I guess now having my platform, as I say, it's just about being an example. Because I don't feel like you can actually help anyone. You just have to kind of help yourself first. And then that's how people kind of feel inspired and they feel that, oh, I can actually do that too, you know, like, especially people that are from my background, because they think, oh wow, she looks like me, she wears the same stuff as me, I can do that too, you know. So I think that's the beauty in what I do too, and why when I do work with people, I feel that really connects with them and gets them out of their comfort zone, because that's what I had to learn essentially. And I guess giving that experience to other young people and people generally is something that City Girl Nature really does. And not having to go all the way to the Amazon, but what's on our doorsteps. I guess that's one of the big ethoses of City Girl Nature as well. What nature can you find on your doorsteps, even in the city, whether there's small urban parks or looking outside your flat window at birds. There's so many ways that we can still connect with nature. I first came in contact with Craghoppers in about 2022, and actually they were reaching out to me to say, can they send me out some kit kind of thing, because I was like, oh my days, I actually need some kit. But when I did get in contact, I did get a response back, and then got the opportunity to be a part of a shoot, which was amazing in the Lake District. Met some really cool people, and funny enough, at the time I had a 4-month-old baby as well. And it was really beautiful and amazing to be able to bring him alongside the shoot as well, which that felt really special as well, that I was able to still be able to be a mother and also work, which I guess is a big thing also that a lot of women don't actually get the opportunity to do. And I think, yeah, from that point, our relationship grew, because I had spoken to one of the people at Craghoppers and said that I've got some projects coming up, I'd love to collab. Basically explained to her that a lot of the young people that would be attending don't have any kit basically, and that would really be useful. They got allocated, all of them got allocated a jacket, leggings or trousers, and the top fleece, which made a huge difference, because let's be honest, kit can be really expensive, especially coming from the backgrounds a lot of these young people come from. So based off of that, our relationship grew again. Since then as well, I still see these young people when I do randomly see them, they're like proudly wearing their rain jackets around, and it's beautiful to see, because you know there's a lot of barriers for a lot of people to be connecting with the outdoors, and something like that can really make a big difference, because it's not something that they didn't have to worry about. You know, they got a fleece, they've got some trousers, and it's suitable. Because I've been on, you know, camps and stuff in places where people are wearing sliders to hike because they're just not aware of kit. So yeah, that's kind of like how our bond has kind of developed, and I'm sure there'll be many more opportunities. I guess for me, transitioning from someone that's not into the outdoors to being really outdoorsy, I guess starting from the Amazon, it definitely was shocking, mainly because when we arrived the first night, it was pitch dark, and not any pitch dark that I've ever experienced before. Like, I've been to my home countries, Pakistan, Jamaica, and we're from the village and countryside. But the Amazon, as soon as you stepped in, there was like an ambience of just sounds, and most of them you had no clue what they were. So it was quite scary, I must admit. Yeah, it was definitely quite scary, I guess, because it was foreign. Like everything I was used to hearing, police sirens, people shouting on the road, which was my normal, was a comfort to me. Hearing now like living things around me non-stop going off. I didn't know how to put up a tent, by the way, so luckily for me I had Morgan, who was my tent buddy, and she's from Wales. She was doing a part of a gold DV, so that was really useful. Shout out Morgan, because we then was able to in the dark put together our tent. And you know, that first night was really daunting. Going outside and sometimes even being inside and connecting with plants inside and connecting with our natural world generally is so important for our mental well-being, in terms of having that tool in our toolbox. I guess there's so many things that we need in our toolbox for life, and just being able to have nature connection and connecting with our natural world in our toolbox will be able to help us in so many different ways, whether it's mentally, physically, and for some people spiritually. I guess that's the biggest kind of thing for me in terms of looking after ourselves, whether that's in a holistic way or whether that's just because life stresses, because life is up and down. So definitely I think it's something that's so important to have in our toolkit of life.